Okay, so today, I know you guys ask us about like macros and calories and all that stuff. So basically, we're going to do an overview of exactly what all of that means. So here we got some of the different topics we're going to be covering. Got, of course, calories, macros, food quality and quantity. We're going to go over easy ways to portion. So we got one little method by Sophie and one method that I use. So that'll be super cool. You guys will be able to see different ways of doing something, that will be very easy, honestly. So first off, calories. No one is muted, right? Anyone want to just throw out what they think a calorie is? No, okay, that's totally fine. So calorie is basically just energy, like energy that we use, because everything we do, like right now, sitting here, like waving your hands around, going to the gym, thinking, using your brain, like big brain time, like all those things, like crying, all those things take up energy. And so basically what we eat is what gives us that energy, and it's transformed in our cells. And so obviously, the quality of the food we put into our bodies will dictate the level of quality that we experience throughout the day. We each have what's called a resting metabolic rate or basal metabolic rate. That is the amount of minimal calories that you need to just stay alive. If you get below this, then you start to have a hard time. And you can calculate this and the amount of calories that you need to eat to account for the training you're doing. So if you guys want to hop on this link, it might be a little hard for you if you don't have the PDF, but you can very easily type in, calorie calculator. Mm-hmm. And what that does is a super convenient calculation tool that will allow you to input your age, current weight, current height, current activity level. So the activity level, you have to be super honest with yourselves, because if you're just sitting on your ass all day, it's 1.2 or 1.3, right? That's very low activity. Then when you start to get more active, you're maybe going out for a run or a jog, then you start weight training, then you start doing spin classes, and you start getting super active, different variety, then you're going to need to bump that number up. So the higher the number, obviously, the higher the calories you can eat. Right? That just makes sense. Usually, what would you say the range is for a woman that they need to eat throughout the day?
Anywhere from 1,200 to 1,600 to even more if you're trying to put on weight. You go into 2,000s.
You're training hard. You're doing heavy strength, right? And you're already say if you're already operating with with a lot of lean muscle mass, you can technically eat more calories because your metabolism is going to be higher. So I think I mentioned that in class the other day, where I think it was to Raj actually, where I was okay, if you get to a certain threshold and you don't really have to worry so much about fat loss, but you're just focused on maintaining, because your body composition is already at a certain a very nice elite level. So you have not very much fat, on a female. You want to have 20%, 22, under 20 would be awesome. That's into the athletic range. So if you're operating at that level, then you can get away with eating more. For example, when I started doing prep, and I just back in 2018, I started doing prep, and I was my starting calories were 2,200. I was eating a ton, protein, discomfort in the stomach all day, 140 grams of protein. You're what the fuck, man? Anyway, and they dropped down to 16 and then 14. But yeah, so that's how you calculate calories. Anyone have any questions so far?
Everybody use the MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah. Honestly, MyFitnessPal is Roberta. Hello. Hello, you made it.
Hi, sorry I'm late. Continue.
Oh, good. We just started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's we're just on calories. Yeah, so MyFitnessPal is probably the best tool for everybody. It's just convenient. It's very well is very expanded now versus like 10 years ago. And it's got like so many different foods that you can input. It's got so many different tools you can use. So honestly, that's like the best thing you can use. Okay, macros. So anyone want to, you know, try to define macros? It's right there. Okay, looks like a no. So we got 3 macronutrients. So it literally just means macronutrients. Macro means big, right? Like macro, like a universe. Micronutrients are like the little like vitamins and minerals, yeah, essentials that we have to make sure we get small quantities of. Macros are like the big guys. They're like, boom, power. So we got carbs. These fuel just like power, energy, right? Just moving through the day. Protein, this is for repair, for muscle growth, like hair, nails, that sort of thing. And fat is used for like absorption of like essential vitamins and just like optimal brain function. So those 3, if we're missing any of those in any serious like chronic long-term way, then you're going to start to experience like certain ill effects. Right. Thankfully for us in North America, we're not like ever protein deficient. Like that's really not a thing here. We're not deficient really in anything except for healthy food, I think. So, yeah.
I'd say the biggest thing that people struggle with is understanding that these 3 things are what you need to include in the majority of your meals, just to function in a healthy way.
Yes, exactly. And so here is a little handy Venn diagram just to show you, you know, you can get all of these 3 main nutrients from like all the foods that we eat, right? So it's just a matter of picking better foods for us in better proportions and avoiding the ones that will take us over the brink into overeating, over calories, all of that stuff. Yeah, this diagram's pretty awesome. Okay, and this is where you shine. Yeah, this is adapted from yours. Yes.
So this is understanding that food is power, and every food choice that you guys are making, you need to understand that what you're putting into your body is using. So the more nutrient dense food that you can give yourself, that's going to better fuel your body. Obviously, eating like a donut versus eating like a piece of fruit, both are still carbohydrates. Both still contain sugar. One's a natural sugar, fructose, and one's a fake, like chemically made sugar, right?
Yeah.
But your body doesn't understand that these 2 are different. They just see it as a carb. But you understand that it's different, and what you're putting into your body and how that's going to fuel your body and how long your body's going to use what you're eating is the difference. So you're going to eat a donut, your body's probably going to use that really quick. It's going to burn that sugar really quick. Versus if you're going to eat maybe a bowl of rice, which is more of a nutrient dense carbohydrate, your body's going to take maybe an hour or 2 longer to process that food and use that food for energy. So that's what I want you guys to start thinking about, understanding that food is your power.
Yes. And we're going to, talk about that like right here, actually. And so one of the key differences between what people call like a good carbs and like bad carbs is like bad carbs. So obviously like carbohydrates exist in pretty much like all plant foods, like anything that is not like a meat or like even tofu has carbs, you know what I mean? Like carbs exist in like everything. So it's just a matter of how processed it is. Because like Sophie said, donuts are heavily processed. You got that white flour, you got that white sugar that's been like bleached or like, you know, got shit added to it. Like that is so refined. So there's like no nutrients for our bodies to even absorb from it besides like the straight, what is it? Sucrose, like the just straight sucrose, like, and that literally would just like pack it on, you know? So when you take that and you just take like, say for example, a whole grain, right? Oh my God, I'm sorry. I have examples. Oh, geez.
Oh, you have food.
I have, well, not food, but I have. Okay, so this cute little sack of black rice, this is one of the best sources of iron, high in fiber, one of the highest in fiber. And it's yeah, we got protein, right? So something like this versus a straight donut, you know, which one is gonna take you farther? The one that has more nutrients. And that's what we mean by nutrient dense. It just means higher in nutrients, right? We want things that will not make us irritable, make us obviously overweight, make us tired after a couple of hours because we had our blood glucose spike. We want to have things that let us like operate at an even keel, you know, through the workday, right? So that's the difference. Complex carbs, like what this PDF says, are the ones that are as close to nature as possible, like the ones that have the highest amount of fiber, minimally refined, and just overall provide us with all the nutrients that we need to function at an optimal level. Okay. And sugary things like, which are usually also very fatty, like donuts are deep fried, fries are deep fried. What else? Like just tempura, which I have to eat at sushi restaurants, unfortunately.
Me too.
Yeah, but anyway, those things are no good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fats. So here we go. So fats are also, they come in obviously different types. And so here you'll see that there are the mono and polyunsaturated fats, which are the ones that are found, of course, in foods that are closer to nature. You have like your nuts, your natural nut butters, like not the crap that Kraft makes, because that's like plastic. If you look at the ingredients, you're like, okay, that's not just nuts. Like there's more than one ingredient. So we don't want that. We want the ones that on the label say nuts, blended nuts. So those are very, very good for us. And we also have our, oh, where is it? Oh my God. So yes, it's like my pantry. So these are hemp seeds. I'm sure some of you are aware of what they are, but these are like one of the best, like a superfood, because they are, oh, let's just read this. Excellent source of vitamins: iron, thiamine, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, manganese, and copper. So I'm sure I've talked to some of you about like taking supplements like magnesium and iron, like for women and everything like that. Like we need to supplement those things because usually our levels are lower. But if you eat foods like this, sprinkle it onto pasta, salads, anything, because they're just like smoothie added. I always add it to smoothies. You know, something like this, it's got your healthy fats, so you can make sure your brain works well. And it's also got all these other nutrients. It's all about nutrients, guys.